Hello friends, welcome back to Unlucky Part 13 of my Tesla earnings forecast video review series. Why unlucky? Because this is the final chart that I'm going to be reviewing in this video series. No more pretty charts after this video. From here on out, it is just fascinating tables of numbers in black font against a white background. So let's check in with Loki, see how he's doing. Sleeping and snoozing, and I will share my desktop and show you that this is, the first chart that appears after the one we just reviewed in the previous video. And it's the last one before we get to those tables of numbers. So why did I choose this to be the last visual in my forecast thread? I have plenty more charts and graphs that I could have included in my forecast thread. I finished with this one because I think it gives a unique look at my earnings per share forecast, and it breaks it down in ways that are helpful for people before they get to those confusing tables with a stacked bar for revenue and a stacked bar for costs, expenses, and profit. So that's what these were doing. So I've labeled those for simplicity, revenues and expenses. But if you don't spend all of the money, what's left over is profit. So I've defined profit a few different ways up here at the top. We'll get to that in just a minute. I think I want to talk about the revenues first. So everything on this page is shown on a per share basis. So you take the dollars and you divide them by 3.3 billion shares, however many there are. I've got the number in my forecast model. And it comes out to these amounts, these dollar amounts. And the biggest number on the page is $6.66 of auto revenue. That's just how that came out. Energy division revenue, 37 cents, and all other revenue of 54 cents. So the all other is services and other revenue. So that's how the revenue stacks up. So about $7.50 worth of revenue in total, broken down into these categories. Then on the expenses side, cost of sales is most of what Tesla's costs are. So there's $482 here of automotive cost of sales. And I did reformat this since last time. There used to be a lot more colors on this page, and I decided to eschew the rainbow of colors in favor of just keeping the expenses and profits on a gray to white spectrum. So the energy division is right above that at 33 cents. So not a lot of profit from the energy division, only 4 cents per share worth of profit being contributed by the energy division. A little bit of profit coming from the all other. So 54 cents minus 51 cents is 3 cents. If this were all the profit there was to contribute, if this were all the gross margin there were to contribute against all of Tesla's corporate expenses, Tesla would still be losing money. But luckily, when you take $6.66 worth of revenues per share from automotive and subtract automotive cost of sales of $482, you've got a lot of profit, almost $2 a share worth of gross margin to help pay for these expenses that are still stacked on top here. So I've got 20 cents worth of research and development, 14 cents worth of SG&A, and I'm calling the rest 11 cents worth of taxes and other expense. I combined a whole bunch of stuff together here, and it just so happens that in Q4 I've got a contra expense in for taxes because Tesla is going to declare 45 cents worth of deferred tax asset benefit in Q4. At least that's what I'm forecasting, and I really hope happens so that I'll finally be right. I forecast this in Q4 of 2021 and it didn't happen, and I forecast it in 2020 Q4 actually, and it didn't happen. So hopefully there's enough profit in the US this year and Tesla's auditors agree that it's time to finally take this before the IRA kicks in next year. The Inflation Reduction Act is going to be a big benefit to Tesla in terms of income taxes owed. Not saying they wouldn't take it next year if they don't take it now, but now seems like a really good time to take 80% of this benefit, and I have the other 20% happening next year. I believe you can't take more than 80% of this benefit in any single tax year. So I think that would be the cleanest way to do it. Take 80% now, take 20% in Q1 of next year, and then be done with it forever. All right, so what's left to talk about? Total stock-based compensation of 11 cents. What's this? It's the difference between GAAP profit as reported and non-GAAP EPS as Wall Street will adjust it, because they care about the non-GAAP earnings. Stock-based compensation is not a cash expense, so they throw that out and say, hey, Tesla doesn't have to come up with the cash to pay for the stock compensation that gets listed on their GAAP earnings release. So they throw that out and gross it up from $1.47 to $1.57 with rounding. It's 11 cents. So that's why $1.57 minus 11 would be $1.46, but there's some rounding going on here. And then I did break out the forecast for the deferred tax asset here. So if Tesla doesn't declare this benefit in Q4, the adjusted non-GAAP EPS will be more like $1.12. And even if Tesla does declare it, Wall Street will probably still back it out and call it $1.12 worth of sustainable EPS in Q4. And that is my explanation for this chart. And that's all I've got for that. So there's Loki still sleeping. And with that, I will outro and say if you've enjoyed today's video or any of the charts that I've gone through over the previous 12 parts, and you appreciate what I do, you could support my efforts through Patreon, which is how I recommend you do it to get the most benefit, access to early releases of videos before I make them public. The same day that I upload them, I post them to Patreon. Also some exclusive video content like alternate takes to videos, and the series James and Loki's Gems of the Week, which is a This Week in Tesla Twitter review series, sometimes more than an hour long video where I go through all the tweets that I liked and explain why I liked them. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. That's free. That's always free on YouTube. And let the algorithm know you liked this video. And a special thank you to my two executive producers, Kathy Kitchler and Halter Ferguson Financial. And I'll see you in the next one.